Hello, everybody. It is the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Live Wednesday night. And thank everyone for being here, for watching. Those of you watching on the rerun, appreciate that. Those of you here live, thank you very much. As always, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Hit the subscribe, the like, the share, and leave a comment if you would. I'm sorry. I had to check this. I've got a couple of things going on. So basically, we're going to have an open forum tonight. Anybody has any questions they want to ask, toss them out there, and we'll talk about them. Some things going on that we've been talking about for a while. September 18th, this coming Saturday. Talk about the latest I have on that. I've got a new book out, and the link is in the description. And China is something that something we need to talk about this evening as well. So, what's going on in Washington, D.C.? Always lots going on in Washington, D.C. This coming Saturday, though, the 18th of September, there is a right-wing rally that has been called in support of those that have been arrested and are being held from the January 6th riot in Washington, D.C. Now, Washington D.C. is responding somewhat to the chatter on the internet that things might happen there. And in my opinion, they are planning for what has already happened. And that's something that the United States is very good at. We're not so good at thinking outside the box that, well, this may happen. We tend to fight the current fight based upon the last fight. If to give you an example, they're planning on putting a big fence around the Capitol before Saturday. They've already been in the Capitol. They should have put the big fence around the Capitol January 6th. Okay. If they were thinking, if they were listening, if they paid attention to people telling them what was coming, they would have done so. They're not coming to take over the Capitol. Okay. We're planning for what's already happened. We tend to do that. We weren't prepared for 9/11, which unfortunately we just marked the 20th year since 9/11, and we weren't prepared for 9/11, and we made preparations for 9/11 after 9/11 had happened. Anyway, they're going to put a big fence around the Capitol. It's just going to be up temporarily, as it was after January 6th and during the inauguration and the threats of stopping the inauguration. Again, this is all basically about trying to reinstate Donald Trump as president of the United States, despite everything that's continuing to come out and everything people are starting to learn. But at any rate, the latest I'm hearing about the 18th, this coming Saturday, the rally is supposed to start at noon. They had a rally a week ago with the My Pillow guy and with General Michael Flynn, who was imprisoned and pardoned by Donald Trump, and they were expecting 10,000 people, and less than 1,000 showed up, I believe. So Could that be a forebearer of what this Saturday may bring? I hope so. I hope it implodes, and I hope no one shows up. But what I've heard for too long to ignore is that it's not really about Washington, D.C. It's about getting everybody's attention on Washington, D.C. while things happen around the rest of the country. And I'm still hearing that. And I'm hearing that it's going to be Jewish synagogues. It's going to be Muslim mosques. It's going to be Black churches, non-Republican churches is how it's being described. Non-Republican worship centers is what some of the chatter that I've been, I haven't seen it personally, that I've been, that a source has leaked to me. Let's just put it that way in journalistic terms. Okay. So what happens Saturday? I really don't know. I'm not sure yet. And I don't think we will be sure until Saturday. I'm going to be monitoring everything Saturday, starting at about 11 o'clock and looking for live streams and preparing in case something does happen. But again, my hope is that a few hundred people maybe show up in Washington, D.C., and nothing happens. It is much ado about nothing, and that no one acts anywhere around the country. It's the last thing I want. I just finished a novel. I don't want it to be a history book. I really don't. So somehow we're going to have to relearn accepting people that don't think like us, that don't look like us. And I know we all look differently and we all think differently. And we need to understand that. And we were progressing towards that. And now we're regressing back towards hate and towards ignorance. And that's a sad state. It's not what, I don't think that's what this country was designed for. I think this country was designed to be a leader in the world and not the bully of the world. And I think that's how a lot of people look at us. And how else could they look at us when we're threatening to go to war here in our own country? And it sounds absurd to even say that there's a threat of war within our own country amongst ourselves, but there are an awful lot of people that want to see it happen. I particularly am not one of them. I prefer to keep going as we're going. I like to have the comforts that we do, as minimal as mine may be compared to others. I'm still very comfortable at the moment. And why would we want to take our country backwards? Why would we want to disrupt the power? As far as power, I mean electricity. I would like to see a massive overhaul of the government, a massive change of the government, but you don't do it violently. You've got to do it politically. That's how this country is operated, by the people. And we are losing that. I agree with the far right. We are losing the government of the people, for the people, by the people, because a lot of things the government does isn't necessarily for the people. But a violent overthrow is not the answer. So let me hop over here real quick into the chat before I get to the next topic. Hey, Sissy, hot mess, real talk with Summer Dickerson. Hey, Summer, is that you? T-Rex, what's going on? Uh, the Lion of Yah, welcome. Mama Red, you push so much lies, you're harmful as mainstream media. Good thing is you barely anyone watches you. People like you make the net bad and push lies and fears to people. The rally in DC is just about J6 people shaking my head. Okay, Mama Red. That's the information you have. The information I have is that that's that may be the intent of the organizer, but the event may have unintended consequences that the organizer and that those of you attending may not know are possible. Okay, but I'm not lying about anything. Okay, y'all keep talking. The next thing is China, and this is a two-pronged thing. There's a political aspect, and there is a economic aspect. China is currently leading the world and is making quite a bit of money off of what's called rare earth minerals, cobalt, nickel, the elements that, if you ever watched The Big Bang Theory, the elements that Sheldon, the nerdiest of the nerds, would name off. Basically, those elements are coveted, and the future will be based upon electric cars. It'll be based upon computers. It'll be based upon chips. It'll be based upon electronics. And to make all of those things, those rare earth minerals, as they're termed, are incredibly necessary. And China has a bunch of those rare earth minerals, and they are exporting them heavily. Now, there's a problem in that the United States is not the recipient of enough of that raw material. And the other problem is we make chips with those raw materials, and we've been holding back and not selling the chips to China. Okay, that's the economic part of this. For those of you that have watched this show for a long time, of course I thank you, but you know that I've said numerous times that we have gone to war over oil for the past, well over the past half century. And when we went to war, when we were attacked on December 7th, 1941 by Japan in Pearl Harbor, what had preceded that was the United States was keeping Japan from having steel and oil. Okay. That's basically the economic side of what precipitated the attack on the United States by Japan. Japan, oddly enough, is one of our strongest allies now, and they have drawn what they call a red line over an island that they are having a dispute with China about. There are all these rare earth minerals in China, and the United States needs those. Okay, would that be a reason to go to war with China? Not for me, but I don't make those decisions. Now, the political side of that is we are more divided as a nation than we might have been since the Civil War. And we may be even more divided as a nation than during the Civil War. That's just a hypothesis. That's not a statement of fact. It's just something to consider. We don't tell you what to think or how to think. We just give you things to think about. The one thing that could possibly bring our country together somewhat has always been war. And so just be aware of current events happening and news about China. And don't be surprised if in 6 months, we've tried to provoke them. We've tried to provoke China to it. This is my opinion. This hasn't come from a Department of Defense source or any source. This is my opinion, based on what I have heard from sources, DOD, other sources. We have tried to provoke them with our actions. We've expanded something called Pacific Iron 21, which is an exercise in emergency rapid deployments, either deploying a larger force to smaller areas in the event of attack, or deploying a larger force to smaller areas for numerous attacks if we are on the offensive. So those drills are going on right now, and have been going on for quite some time. And China is conducting drills, and one little slip up on either side, and it gets really messy really fast. So again, I'm just talking about things to be aware of. I'll hop back over here. Okay, Summer Dickerson's going to be on in about 30 minutes. If you've never seen Summer, follow Summer Dickerson on Facebook and listen because you'll learn a lot about a lot of things. Rest in peace, Breonna Taylor, always, and Travis Nagdy, and there's so many names just from Louisville. Honestly, don't see it that way. I think he just puts out info he thinks is helpful. Sometimes he's wrong, but aren't we all? Yeah, sometimes I'm wrong. And when I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. And boy, I hope I'm wrong about the 18th. I really do. I hope I'm wrong about the 18th. I hope absolutely nothing happens. I got friends traveling. I got friends traveling abroad. I got friends traveling in country. I want everybody safe everywhere, not only on the 18th, but beyond. But there's just so much, man, there's just so much hate-filled, ignorant crap that's coming from some people on all sides. And I hope, and I've always hoped, I've done it, man. I've done this from the very beginning. This has always been about peace. Peace. This has always been about bringing people together to talk. I've had panels, I've had one-on-ones, trying to get people to hear other people's opinions, and so we would know where everybody was coming from, and maybe so we'd have understanding. And there are so many people that won't even listen to somebody that doesn't say exactly what they want to hear. Not only won't they listen, they'll call them names and threaten them with bodily harm just because they don't think like they do. And that's potentially dangerous. JB, good evening from rural California. Thank you so much for watching. The Taliban, Afghanistan. Those of you that watch the show know that I had questions about how we were doing things towards the end in Afghanistan, and why we were doing them where we were and how they were being done, um, and I'm learning that the possibility of of Taliban slipping into the country is a legitimate thing to consider. Might have happened. That the vetting process the State Department did initially was very specific, but towards the end, there was a rush. And keep in mind who controlled the outer. We talked about this. Chris and I talked about this. The inner level of protection at the airport where everyone was going out of, and the outer ring. The inner ring was controlled by U.S. troops. The outer ring was controlled by Taliban. So they can already slip their people past one of the rings. And, it's just something else to be aware of. Hopefully nothing ever happens. They get over here. If they were coming for ill intent, they get over and go, hey, things aren't so bad over here. So, or we find them. That's really the real hope, because it's kind of delusional to think that they would get over here and not want to carry out whatever they're here for. And you can be positive, but you also have to be real. And I try to really be positive, and I try to always look for the silver lining of things, but you also have to be real. So, how many would have potentially gotten through? Who's to say? There were 19 on September the 11th, and September is a really holy month for the Muslim faith, and a lot of attacks happen during the month of September. So just something else to just to be aware of. We can't live our lives in paranoia or in a constant state of fear or anger. And a lot of people are living in a constant state of anger, and that's harmful to themselves and potentially harmful to all of us. Let's see. Sissy, thank you. If that's to me, I'm doing okay. I lost my partner Kay last year. It's been over a year now, and because of COVID and circumstances, her family wasn't able to get together and have a memorial until today. So that's how my afternoon was spent, and it brought back a lot of memories, a lot of great memories, a lot of sad memories. And I'm doing the kid's doing all right. Always I can really honestly, I can deeply use some financial help over the next 4 to 6 weeks. Trying to get things worked out where I'm just going to retire. And I'll talk about that coming up. But and I got a book out. If you're a reader, hit the link in the description and consider buying a copy. If you're not a reader, copy the link and send it out on your lists and stuff to people that read. It's probably a 3 to 4 hour read. If you're a quick reader, you can get it done maybe 2.5. It's a good day at the beach, airplane flight, curl up with a glass of wine, book. And it's the first of a series, and I've written a lot of stuff, and this is the best thing I've ever written. So it's called America with the colon, land of the greed and home of the grave, and it's the story of two former rival political families that unite to overthrow the United States, and a secret group that works to try to stop them. So that's just basically what's called the elevator pitch of the book. Anyway, back over here to the comments real quick. Okay, you guys are having some conversations among yourselves. That's cool. Thank you, Delion of Yah. I appreciate that. Much respect. Thank you, Mama Red. Yeah, Mama Red brings up that it wasn't just Republicans. No, it's not just Republicans. This Saturday, this thing is about the far right, those that have been accused of, have yet to go to trial, or those that have been arrested and are serving time over what happened January 6th. That it's to draw, the purpose of the rally is to draw attention to that. And the organizer has been very clear that that's all he wants. He doesn't want any Trump signs. He doesn't want any political signs. He doesn't want anything other than people that agree that how these J6 citizens, as they're called, they are citizens, how the J6 people are being treated, and that's the purpose of the rally. However, if you get the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, if you get Antifa showing up and counter protest, please don't. No counter protests. Let's hope this is just a couple hundred people showing up on Saturday and nothing else sparks around the country. There's a bunch of chatter that it could. Just be aware of it. All right. And hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because if things do kick off, I'll be on here showing live streams, talking about what's going on, getting information from sources. However, I'm not going to be in Washington, D.C. And up until this past weekend, I had considered going out. A couple of things. My phone's really old and it overheats. I tried to do a couple of lives and it won't go over 3 or 4 minutes. I tried to do one from the Colts game on Sunday, and the phone overheats and shuts off. So until I get some new gear, I'm not going to be out doing live streams myself. And plus, the people that I might have crashed on their floor on Friday night ahead of Saturday are getting out of town on Friday. They said, don't read anything into this, but a lot of us are leaving town over the weekend. And that's another reason, that's another little piece of the puzzle, if you will, that if this was about making some kind of move on the federal government, January or September 18th wouldn't be a good day to do it. It's a Saturday, first of all, and members of Congress are going to be they generally leave Thursday night to get out of town to be out of town on Friday. They don't schedule votes. Anyway, Saturday, I understand the organizer, what he's trying to do. Maybe he has great intentions and maybe his heart's in the right place for the people he's wanting to draw attention to. I don't agree with it personally, but nonetheless, I agree with his right to do it and do it peacefully, to assemble peacefully. Again, I think putting the fence around the Capitol is fighting the last battle. If you really want to make sure they don't do anything, fence them in. That's just, you don't get into the area for the protest without, being searched, and you don't get out of the area while the protest is ongoing, unless you leave the area completely, if you want security. Anyway, Doofus dog is good. She's been incredibly good. She's overlaying down. Normally somebody, a vehicle drives by, or something happens, a noise outside, and she is my security system, and you'll hear her barking in the background. But she's been really good tonight. Thank you for asking, Sissy. JB, I didn't expect Biden to pull out of Afghanistan. Trump actually made the decision to pull out of Afghanistan and drew the troops down to 2,500. I do understand why Biden held the hard line of getting out at the end of the month. That's because the Taliban was in control of the government. But nonetheless, I personally don't think the troops should have been drawn down to the level that they were drawn down to. That's how our soldiers got killed in that attack at Kabul, because we didn't have enough to control the inner ring and the outer ring. In my opinion, we shouldn't have. The troops should have been the last thing to leave, not drawn down to a skeleton force. But the deadline should have been extended until all Americans were out. All Americans were out, and if they didn't want to go, okay. But anybody that wanted to get out should have been removed from the country. That's just my opinion. Okay, you guys are talking to each other. I like that. People are planning. Sam Scott, hi Sam Scott, thank you for watching. People are planning on turning up armed at the 18th rally. Yes, I've heard that, and they're going to challenge the Capitol Police to try to disarm them. I've heard that. I hope that's just a rumor and that doesn't happen, because that could get real bad real fast. And there's also there's a group called White Lives Matter, and I got notification from somebody that stumbled upon my show and emailed me, why don't I talk about White Lives Matter? Well, White Lives Matter is calling for global demonstrations all around the world, globally, as well as all across the United States on September 18th. The reason I don't talk about White Lives Matter is because this country was founded by and for wealthy white men, and those were the lives that have always mattered. The wealthy white man's life has always mattered. Not all white lives matter. So I will talk about Black Lives Matter as a concept, not as a group. But I don't think anybody needs to have strong reminders how unbalanced things have been throughout the history of this country. Okay, Sam Doofus, one of my close friends, is going to the rally. Okay. Sam, my email is americandufus@gmail.com. If your friend goes to the rally and he shoots any footage and you get a hold of it, email it to me and I'll get it out. Going to start Green Lives Matter for all the UFOs running our government. I've been wanting to talk about. I've been wanting to talk about UFOs and extraterrestrials and Bigfoot for a long time, and we'll do that maybe next Wednesday night if we get through everything this weekend peacefully, and there's we're all still here. Maybe next Wednesday night we'll talk about UFOs because the government, our government, has finally said, yeah, there's some stuff out there we're not sure it's from. It's unidentifiable. Okay, it doesn't mean it's extraterrestrial, but I personally, just a little hint at what may come next Wednesday night. I think Bigfoot is an alien. Most of the legitimate Bigfoot, not most, but many of the legitimate Bigfoot sightings, there are always little red lights or lights somewhere and close by, and then Bigfoot disappears. I think Bigfoot's a tall alien that just disguises himself when he's here. Why would they be here? Maybe we have minerals that they need. Just like, why would we go to war with China? Just something to think about. They're slowing down my feed. Yeah, it's just it's conversations. Yeah, it's just talk, Mama Red. And Delina Yaw. It's just a theory, First of all, we never find any Bigfoot bones, and you'd think at some point there were, maybe we have and we've misidentified them. I don't know, but it seems like with the number of sightings that are that I've seen from a lot of it online, people seem credible, and so you whittle down the percentage of actual encounters, and we don't find a lot of evidence other than people seeing them. So, Summer, we need to get you on the show, okay? Email me. Let's set something up. I've been wanting to have a conversation with you for a year, and we'll talk about all kinds of stuff, especially we'll talk about Louisville. So let's do that. There is a lot of stuff on our planet that, yeah, there are a lot of places that are, especially deep sea, underground. There are a lot of places that are unexplored on our planet, and we're not always as smart as we think we are. So they should stop eating mushrooms in the forest. JB, for the record, I do believe in aliens. I've never actually seen an alien. I've seen a couple of unidentifiable flying objects. One was kind of cloud-like, and the other was metallic with a beam coming down out of it. But anyway, hey, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. I've been on a little longer than I planned on being on. I got to check on some people. And again, I love y'all. If you want to help support the show, It's Cashapp, $ American Doofus, all one word. If you've got story ideas, or if there's something that happens in your area that's not getting covered, email it to me, americandufus@gmail.com. Again, my latest novel is out, and the link's down in the description. If you do like to read, give it a read. If you don't like to read, and quite honestly, a lot of people don't like to read anymore, but still there are a bunch that are avid readers. So if you know somebody, send them the link if you would. Thank you all. I'm just going to run back up again. Summer, come on here. I'll come on your thing. Let's talk sometime. JB, thank you. Mama Red, thank you. The Lion of Yah, Pootie Tang, thank you for being here. JB, Diana McLean, thank you as always. And I love you all. If I missed anybody, Sissy, I know you're here. And let's just run up the chat here real quick. Sissy, thank you. Sam Scott. All right, I think I got everybody. If not, I apologize. And for those of you that are watching and not in the chat, thank you so much. It is greatly appreciated. Peace, peace, shalom, salam, namaste. I love you all. I may not be here until Saturday morning. I don't know yet. But hit the notification bell, and I will be back very soon. And I'm going to be monitoring on Saturday. The rally's supposed to kick off at noon. I'll be on well before that, monitoring. And if things kick off, we'll start broadcasting. So I'll be back real soon. I'm just not exactly sure when right now. But until the next time, it is a dark world. Do try to be a light. Love, share love, give love, be loving, be kind, be understanding, try to be accepting, but at the same time be real and be aware and stay alive. Okay, I love you all. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus.